Rob better be glad he stayed home or he'd have got hit in the head with the snowball today.
Welcome to the channel of the Roving Veterans.
I'm Rob.
And I'm Bethany.
And don't forget about our dog, the Traveling Maverick.
We chose our name because we RV, and we're also both military veterans.
We bought our first camper in 2020 and been full-time ever since. On this episode, we explore Cedar Breaks National Monument. This is some of the highest elevation in the whole state of Utah.
Join me on a hike to both the Alpine Pond and Sunset View Trail. Let's go.
We made it to the Chessman Ridge overlook at 10,460 feet. So here we go. You hear the wind? Look at how tall and skinny the trees are. I've seen Christmas trees like this at the store, maybe not quite that tall, but I've always thought, it's not even realistic. Trees aren't that tall and skinny. They branch out more than that. Oh no, not up here they don't. Up here they're all tall. Oh my gosh! Yeah! Oh wow, just the different colors. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna loop my finger in here right now.
How are we the only people here?
Because everybody's at Bryce Canyon instead. We were told this is a good alternative to Bryce Canyon, but a whole lot emptier. And I believe it. Personal opinion, and Rob's in agreement, this is by far more beautiful than the Grand Canyon. Some people like different things, but for some reason, we both feel like this is just, I don't really know how to explain it. And I'm sure the video won't do it justice either. It is cold up here, y'all. We came from St. George yesterday at 109 degrees. Today it's in the 70s. I literally have goosebumps. We've been in the desert all since January, really. Let's get real. And it's July, and I'm up here freezing. Look at my goosebumps. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Wear clothes, even in July. This is July 1st. Make sure you got your warm clothes. Because we're going to come back up here a different day and definitely wear more clothes. Because we do everything opposite of everybody else, and we're typically at the worst places at the worst season, meaning we're usually at the hottest parks during the hottest time of the year. We're in the coldest places in the coldest places of the year. We lucked out and we finally got somewhere. It's best season being this place, and it's the Wildflower Festival they have going on, because they have all kinds of different wildflowers that they have blooming out here. But they've been doing the Wildflower Festival for apparently 19 years, so kind of cool. Look. I'm sure some people wonder how we get some pictures that look like we do. You probably show up somewhere and like, how did they make that happen? Well, I'm Samsung. I know there's Team Android and Team iPhone, but this is my Samsung. There's nowhere out here to take a picture, right? So you just have to selfie it. Or if you got a cool phone like my Samsung Z Fold, you can set the timer and you can literally set that thing up however you want. Look at this. But guess what? It's amazing and it works. So it looks like there are 25 camp spots at the Cedar Breaks National Monument campground. And they are all teeny tiny, because there was a couple of turns on that loop that made me uncomfortable in just my Jeep, because they were that sharp. So if you're looking to camp with hookups, you probably aren't going to come to the Cedar Breaks National Monument campground unless you have a teeny tiny rig. There's a lot of BLM and forestry land around here though that's free, so maybe check that out instead. All right, Sunset Trail, here we go. And when I say we, I mean me today. Tried to talk Rob into coming, but he just wanted to be lazy. I don't blame him. We've been going a lot lately, but I figured today, being the day before the 4th of July, it's not going to be busy, so that's kind of why I wanted to take at least one trail. But yeah, this goes I don't know if this is the rim trail or not. Maybe I should look that up. But I'm just gonna see where it goes, kind of. Now this is quite the view. Winnie the Pooh would say it's a rather blustery day. And that it is. But man, is it a beautiful day here at Cedar Breaks National Monument in Cedar City, Utah. I must say, I've never seen a fly go inside a flower before. I don't know if they get what they would get out of that. He's all up in there, you can't even see him no more. It is July 3rd. I'm in this and I'm pretty good. It might be a tad bit breezy in the shaded areas, but it's perfect in the sunny areas, so you can kind of probably maybe dress in layers or not. I'm in this and I've been fine so far. This path does have a little bit of elevation change to it. I wouldn't say it was anything too drastic. One spot back there was, I wouldn't consider too steep, but if you have mobility issues and you're in some type of chair, you might have to have somebody, well, you will have to have someone to push you up that one, unless it's a motorized one. But beautiful little view around here. Now this one looks a little, you might have some, if you have mobility issues, have an interesting time trying to get up that one. But let's see what's up here. Oh wow, you're seeing it with me for the first time. Definitely windy up here, but beautiful. I will say, if you are coming out here in July, which is where I am, it is blooming season. Everything's blooming, so if you have allergies, you better think about that. But totally beautiful. And most of the places in the country right now are in a massive heat wave. Well, it's in the 70s and 80s up here during the day and about 40s at night. So if you're looking for a relief from the heat, sure, this is southern Utah. And you can go an hour and a half down the road and it's 110. But up here, 30, 40 degrees different. Beautiful and a great break in weather. We do have a little bench, which is, I would assume, around the halfway point, maybe not quite. I haven't been paying attention that much. This is over 10,000 feet in elevation. So that also might be a reason they got all these benches out here. Because if you're coming from somewhere low elevation to here, there's a big difference in oxygen level. So yeah, one thing you might want to keep in mind, even though you're at 10,000 feet and it's perfect temperatures, you are higher to the sun, so you probably will get sunburned if you don't think about that. I got sunburned in Flagstaff a few weeks ago and it's just now peeling, so redoing it, starting all over with the tan, I guess. These are some pretty ones. I haven't really seen any of these yet out here. And even where we're parked at our campsite, we have literally sat there and watched. We've been here, what, 2 nights now? And we've woken up to more flowers than we went to bed with every night so far. Look at the bizarreness of this tree. I mean, it's dead, but look how like the roots and branches grow. So crazy looking. I'd say it's a little windy. I don't even know if you can hear me. They give you a little bench to sit and look at Chessman's overlook also. I didn't look anything up, but Alpine Pond is this way. I guess if you need a trail guide, well, you're out of luck. So I guess they're $2 if there's one there. Notice the Alpine Pond Trail is not paved, whereas the other one, the Sunset Point, is paved. Looks like we got more wildflowers on this trail. Lower trail, upper trail. I'm gonna go upper. It seems like less elevation change. You're not gonna believe it, but I'm up here and I see snow. Snow! That's a big old snow patch. Now I'm wishing I took the lower route. I wonder if I could have seen that on the lower route, like touched it. It's July, y'all. I cannot believe I just found snow, y'all. Snow. It is July 3rd, wait. July 3rd. And I got snow. Bob better be glad he stayed home or he'd have got hit in the head with the snowball today. One thing you'll either love or hate, depending on you, is this path is mostly shaded, actually. So if you're worried about sun exposure, I'd say this is a good one to take. This is one ginormous dead tree, all right. Get to the Alpine Pond, you can get there from Chessman or Alpine Pond parking lot. And I guess this is it. So I'm probably gonna take the lower route back, obviously, right? Hopefully it'll do both, because I just did the upper and it wasn't very bad at all. It was a pretty decent walk, actually. Yeah, you can see there's definitely some elevation change here. So this is one of those paths that you're probably not gonna do with mobility issues. Any of the Alpine Road. You probably want to stick to the Sunset one. It's definitely a winding and loopy like track just to get you down there, looks like. But I bet if you're on the lower loop, you don't have to go through it. You're probably already down there. So we were way up there, climbing down this, climbing down that. I ain't getting in this one. Sorry, trying not to fall right to y'all. But, yuck. Ooh, there's a little birdie. I don't know about all that, so I guess that's the Alpine Pond. Alright, one thing I will say is the hike is beautiful. The pond ain't much to look at. It looks more like a swamp to me. But the hike itself is worth it. There's a path beside the pond if you wanted to come closer to it. But seriously, it literally just looks like a swamp to me. And I feel like the only reason there's not a bunch of fish or animals in it is because this place gets so cold. The people who live here say 14 foot of snow in the winter, which means that would be completely frozen over. Alright, back to the parking lot, taking the lower trail this time though. There's a slow stream of water coming from inside the ground. Going down. Honestly, I've been in a forest or two, but you just feel so small out here. I know in slot canyons and stuff you feel really small, but what about when you have these trees that are, you still feel small in the world. I'm gonna say start at the upper and make the loop down to the lower, because if not, you're gonna be walking uphill the whole time. I started upper, got to the pond, and now taking the lower. Yeah, that's the least workout. Now, if you want the exercise part and you're all about that exercise while you're at 10,000 feet, then start it lower and go upper. But if you want the more relaxing, easier, not so hard breathing, start it upper and go lower. Facts. I got you a little natural chair carved into the tree that's no longer living. This is why I say start it upper and work your way down. If not, you're climbing the whole way. Instead, I'm going down the whole way. I ain't mad about it. Now, I do know when I get back closer to the top, or closer to the end, I'm probably going to have to do some climbing. That's okay. I mean, this whole area is closed literally half of the year because it's in such high elevation. It's impassable because of snow. So, who knows, I might be one of the first people who's done this. It don't even open back up. The road's closed till end of May, and it's July 3rd, so yeah, I'm probably one of the few people who've been on this trail. You do not want to have to touch any kind of vegetation. You're going to want to stick to the upper, because most of this path seems pretty grown up. Let me show you something so bizarre. So this looks like desert canyon look, but then you turn to this side and it's like trees on trees on trees. Lots of vegetation. How bizarre do the trees look like when they're dying, but they have like the spiral look to them? It's so insane. A little bit closer now. But look at that, it like spirals all the way up. It looks so bizarre. I just want you to look at the size of these trees. This, you probably can't tell, but it's literally a little over my hip. It's hard to tell without putting the camera at the right angle though. One thing I'm gonna point out, there's skeeters out. That Alpine Pond probably had some mosquitoes because I just slapped one off my leg. If you're planning on doing some Utah parks this summer, make sure you hit some high elevation places in between so you're not just exhausted from the heat. So Phoenix was 110. We went to Flagstaff, which was in the 80s. Then we went back down in elevation to about 109 degrees. Now we're back up in elevation at like 10,000 feet. And it's in the 80s during the day and in the 40s and 50s at night. So we're trying to kind of balance it, right? Do some low elevation heat zones with some high elevation cooler zones, so that way you're just not exhausting yourself and just hot all summer. Break it up, might as well. There's plenty of elevation changes around here to make it worth it. Not to mention some beautiful views. Beautiful. Probably getting a little closer to home base, being the Chessman parking lot. Like we're coming out lower. So yeah, if you're wanting to do the Alpine Pond Trail, start with upper, spin around, come back up the lower. That very, very end, or if you're starting with lower, the very beginning, there's quite a few steps, so I'm breathing just a little bit, but it's the first time the whole trail that I've been breathing. And we're at over 10,000 feet, so that's a big part of it too. I think I might call it a day and be done with it, and maybe see another trail tomorrow. Maybe I taught Rob into doing one with me. So one thing you're gonna realize whenever you're in this area, there are deer everywhere.
Better slow down if you like the way the front of your truck looks.
Right, how many dead ones have we seen? So many.
Bunches of them. And there are tons. We went out the other night to look at the stars at Cedar Breaks, and there were tons of animals out.
All over the road.
I mean, every few yards there was more animals.
We boondocked at the Unita Flat Dispersed Campground about 25 minutes from Cedar Breaks National Monument. Your National Park Pass will work at this location, or you can just buy a single-day use pass when you arrive. If you're planning on doing both of the trails that I did, I would say plan to spend about half a day in the park. However, if you don't do both of those, you can spend a lot less time. We were told that Cedar Breaks was a good alternative to Bryce Canyon, and I would say that's probably pretty accurate. Now, this is on a lot smaller scale than Bryce Canyon, but still a beautiful view and way less crowded, as there was like no one here when we were here. Cedar Breaks is in southern Utah, and it is located between Cedar City and Duck Creek Village. We are a full-time RV living travel channel. We take the occasional cruise, and we fly places sometimes as well. So if that sounds like it's something you want to watch, make sure you check out our channel. We post every Tuesday and occasionally a second day of the week. See you then!